Hello, once again, this is Gertrude Mache here in Wellington, New Zealand. Today I am speaking to another absolutely fascinating man who I met by watching one of his TED Talks online. I have Taylor Conroy today, and Taylor is based in Canada. Taylor, how are you?
I'm fantastic. Nice to be on your program, Gertrude. Thanks for having me.
It is a pleasure. Now, I know that you are on the road right now. Can you tell us physically where you are?
Sure. Well, kind of. I know I'm in Los Angeles. I don't know where, but somewhere. Like I said, I'm from the west coast of Canada, so I don't know this city that well. And we're going to go on a joyride in the midst of this interview, so I think it'll be fun and dangerous at the same time, which is a good combo. Good combo.
It will be interesting. So Taylor, you are the CEO of Change Heroes. What inspired you to start this amazing organization? You're doing a lot of work in Africa, especially around children, building schools. What was the inspiration for you?
You know what? It's funny. Usually in an interview, I would kind of talk to you, Gertrude, about, especially when we're talking specifically about the African continent, I would say, I went on this trip in 2009, and it was a transformative experience, and I went to Uganda and Kenya, and I really fell in love with education. But I think the reason for starting any social enterprise isn't as simple as that. It's like let me just get my seatbelt on here so it's not quite as dangerous while we're driving. I think it's people. I think people look. Do you want to hold that for me?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Can I flip it around?
Yeah, you can flip it. Or maybe that's probably the best like that, because then it's the same the whole time. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Thanks. I think people talk about getting into social enterprise or starting a nonprofit or starting something that is impact based, and they refer to it. If you were to talk about it as like an alcoholic beverage, they talk about it like it's a tequila shot, like straight one thing happened, bang, they changed their life. There's nothing else mixed in with it, really straight up. Whereas I actually think there's a lot more complexity to it, and it's really more like a cocktail of a bunch of different things mixed in. So I don't know why I'm describing it like an alcoholic beverage. I don't really even drink, but if I was to say what the cocktail had in it that mixed up to make this social enterprise start, it was a big component was not feeling fulfilled in day-to-day life. Like I mentioned to you earlier, I had this feeling after or throughout a lot of my life that I was just kind of empty. Like I wanted to be doing more than what I was doing. What I was doing at the time was selling real estate, which is fun and whatnot in part, but there's just a big feeling of emptiness. And two was that trip to Uganda and Kenya, seeing the effects that education was having on villages and communities and the people in Uganda and Kenya that I had visited. And if there was one more thing, it was the thought of just the dream of potentially waking up every day and being of service. Just waking up every day and knowing that I was going to go out and be of as much service to the world as humanly possible was like this pie in the sky dream that I had. And so the mix of those two like negative types of emotions with that one massive dream is what prompted the beginning of Change Heroes.
And you have managed to scale your model in such an incredible way. I mean, I've just been on your website. I know you've had about 5,000 people who've donated. You have funded 182 schools. You've impacted on 182,000 children. How was this possible?
Well, one slight alteration of that was after we funded the first 100 schools in 8 countries, and these are 3 of those countries are on the African continent: Sierra Leone, Ghana, and Kenya. 3 in Southeast Asia, and then 2 in Latin America. After the first 100 schools, we started testing the model, this video-based peer-to-peer fundraising model that didn't exist prior to Change Heroes, and we started testing it on other causes: anti-sex trafficking work in Cambodia, community centers in South Africa, and volunteer travel, and water projects near Mount Everest in Nepal, and girls' scholarships in India, libraries in Bangladesh and Vietnam. We started testing it on all types of different projects, and it kept working across all of them. And so those other 80 projects are a total mix of all of these different wonderful, amazing initiatives that our implementing partners have been implementing on the ground. And the way that we've scaled it is really, really simple. It's doing what appeals to millennials. What appeals to millennials is they want, well, two things mainly. It has to be online, it has to be with their friends. And when I say
Yeah.
millennials, I'm talking about 18 to 37-year-olds, okay? That's the definition of a millennial. It has to be
Right.
online and with their friends. And what we've done is we've employed the technique that worked so well, that you saw work so well in the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge, you know, where everyone's
Yes.
either dumping cold water over their heads or they're giving to charity. And the way that they did that is they leveraged video better than any other fundraising initiative that's ever happened. They leveraged video and personal call outs from one person to 3 of their friends, for example. And
Right.
really that's what we do at scale. Is we do personal video call outs. We built a wonderful platform that enables someone to call out 33 of their friends personally through
Yes.
via videos on their webcam, and they're asking each of those friends to give $3.33 a day for 3 months. So when you add that up, 33 people, $3.33 a day for 3 months, that adds up to $10,000. It's a really easy amount for people to swallow. It's the cost of a cup of coffee a day, or a slice of pizza, or parking downtown for 2 hours. It's less than the tip that you would leave at a restaurant for 90 days. Everyone does it,
Yes.
raises $10,000. That funds a schoolhouse or a library or a water project or a number of other initiatives. So that's how we've scaled it. Is start with something crazy simple that people can understand, they can digest, they can see that it's possible for them to do, and then just scale it to more and more people via more and more amazing nonprofits.
Amazing. Amazing. Now, I just want to talk a little bit about your life, Taylor. What changed your life when someone gave to you?
Could you say that again? What changed my life, did you say?
When someone gave to you. Yes. Let's just talk about giving now.
So the question is basically, what is a time that someone gave to me that changed me?
Yes.
You know, the best gift that I've ever received was a goat, and it was, we were in a village in the Masai Mara region of Kenya, and we visited this village. It was the very first village that I ever funded a project in. It was the very first one. It was a library, actually, in this really rural village out the Masai Mara in the Rift Valley, where the first human walked. And I got to visit this library which I said, it was the first project I ever funded. I got to walk through it. It was incredible. I was in tears. It was really, moving experience for me. And then just when I least expected it, all these villagers are singing, and they walked over and they handed me a goat. They put this live goat with horns on its head in my hands, and I thought they were just messing with me. I thought they were like, let's get him to hold the goat and we'll see what he does. Let's see what the Canadian does with the goat. And then our guide came over and said, kind of whispered to me, they're like, no, they just gave you that goat. You need to take that with you. And I was like, okay, where am I supposed to take it? And they said, we'll put it in the back of the SUV and take it, because it would be very impolite to not take the goat.
Yes.
So that really changed me, because a goat there isn't just, it's not just an animal, it's a livelihood.
No.
It's a lot of how people generate their income there, how they produce milk for their families. It's a really big piece of their community and their family, and for them to give something like that to me was pretty momentous.
Oh, that is fantastic.